Hello, Mr. Nichols. This is Jerome again, and I'm talking about the standalone book, More Than a Game. Now, just More Than a Game. I don't know how it looks on your end, but this is how it looks on my end. Okay, so now we got More Than a Game. I'm going to tell you, you're only going to need to record maybe two new items, and everything else is just going to be a copy of what you did for the standalone book. So let me show you what you would need to do. Okay, for the opening credits, you will read this here, More Than a Game by Jerome Gibson, read by Kevin Nichols. That's all you need to record. For right now, it's just the opening credit. Now, if we skip all the way down to the bottom, you need to do the closing credits as well. So you would do the closing credits. This has been More Than a Game by Jerome Gibson, read by Kevin Nichols. That's it. So the opening credits, again, you would just record the opening credits, which I had here. You'll read this More Than a Game by Jerome Gibson, read by Kevin Nichols, and then you will record the closing credits. This has been More Than a Game by Jerome Gibson, read by Kevin Nichols. Okay, now, after you do those recordings and upload it, everything else is coming from the combo book. So I'm going to show you this before we get to the combo book. You know, this here will be More Than a Game. This will be dedication, and this will be the intro scripture. And then you notice it had chapter 1 through 29. And then it also has about the author. And then this here is more books by the author. So let me tell you where you're going to pull all this content from. Okay, so we go back here. Let me click here. For some reason it wasn't letting me go back. Okay, so we go back to the combo book, the More Than a Game and More Than a Game, the beginning. So now, if you're looking at the More Than a Game right now, okay, this is the combo book. What you would do, everything that you have here after chapters, after the opening credits, all of this, all the way down to chapter 29, you would just put it in its corresponding spot in the More Than a Game. So what you have here, the More Than a Game, the dedication, the opening scripture is the same as the intro scripture. You would transfer all of this to those spots. And then you would transfer the chapter 1 through 29 from the combo book to the chapters 1 through 29 for the standalone book. Now, once you transfer the 1 through 29 from the combo book, you'll go down to the very bottom of the combo book to the About the Author and More Books by the Author, and you would transfer that as well. And then you would do the retail sample. I want you to use the same retail sample from the combo book for the standalone More Than a Game book. Okay, now let's recap what you're going to transfer from this book. You're going to transfer the More Than a Game, the dedication, the opening scripture is the same as intro scripture for the standalone book. You're going to transfer chapters 1 through 29. And then after you transfer the chapters 1 through 29, then you drop to the bottom here and you're going to transfer the About the Author, the More Books by the Author, and also the retail sample. Now remember earlier you read the opening and the closing credits for the standalone book. So you don't take that from here. But everything else I told you, you take to the standalone book. Now, personally, I will want you to pause this, transfer all of that information, let me know, and I will check it and make sure everything is fine. and then continue the rest of this video to see what you would do with the second standalone book. Okay, so now we'll move on to the second standalone book, which is More Than a Game, The Beginning. Okay, so now, as we go here, I did notice that you uploaded some of the chapters and the opening credits and everything, but I'll get to that. The first thing that I will want you to record, is not that much for you to record for this. I want you to record the opening credits as you see here. More Than a Game, The Beginning by Jerome Gibson, read by Kevin Nichols. Okay, that would be your opening credit. Then I would want you to jump down here to your closing credits. Closing credits, this has been More Than a Game, The Beginning by Jerome Gibson, read by Kevin Nichols. Okay, so that would be your closing credits. Now, as far as about the author and more books by the author, you already have that, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, now, the retail audio sample. What I would want you to do is use chapter 1. I want you to use chapter 1, what you've already uploaded. Put chapter 1 for the retail sample. But I just want you to take out the word chapter 1 when you put it for the retail sample. Now here within the book, leave it as chapter 1, great. Leave it that way. But when you do for the retail sample, I want you to do chapter 1, but take out where you said chapter 1 and upload that as the retail audio sample. Okay, now let's take a look at what you uploaded. The first thing I want to have you to do is this here. All of the changes that I told you in the previous video that you needed to make for the second book of the combo book, you would need to upload those here. Right here where you have More Than a Game, you did not put More Than a Game, The Beginning. So you would need to enter that information like I told you in the previous book. So let me go back to the previous book here, the combo book. So let me show you what I'm saying about what to upload. Let's see if I could get that back up here. Okay, now with the combo book, after chapter 29, once you get here, and remember, this is after you made the corrections that I told you about in the first video I just sent you. After you make those corrections and everything has been accepted here, I would need you to transfer this, the More Than a Game, The Beginning, the new dedication, and the opening scripture. You will need to transfer all 3 of these and chapters. Well, you already transferred chapters 1 through 27, but you would need to retransfer the chapters that you fixed. Now, if you want to, and I would just say to be on the safe side, what I would do, like I showed you in the first video, I would make all the corrections that you are supposed to make for all of these. And then I will upload, the only ones you would need to re-upload are the ones that you made the corrections for. Like I had told you in the first video, what you made the corrections for was in chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, and chapter 13. So those would be the only things that you would need to upload from here back to the More Than a Game, The Beginning book, because all those other recordings you uploaded were fine. So let's do a quick recap of all that you need to transfer to the More Than a Game, The Beginning. Okay, so from the combo book, you would need to take you'll need to go down here past 29. You will do the re-recording that you did for More Than a Game, The Beginning, the re-recording of the dedication, the re-recording of the opening scripture. Then you would put in chapter 7, because you're going to re-record chapter 7 to make the changes that I described in the first video. Then chapter 8, then chapter 9, and then chapter 13. So it's just basically what I showed you earlier, and then chapters 7, 8, 9, and 13 that you will have to re-upload to the standalone book. All the rest of the stuff is fine. And then you had about the author and more books by the author. That's fine as well. So if you have any other questions, please let me know, and I will go through and check everything. Have a wonderful day.